guys, Ashley here, also known as the HLE fan. I'm here today with another video, and this one is different from any wrestling topic videos. I decided to do something different today. I have to get away from wrestling. Today I'm going to do something different. I'm going to be ranking teen drama pilots from worst to best. This is personally my list of teen drama shows that I have seen. I have seen other teen drama shows like My So-Called Life, Teen Wolf, Buffy, but the reason I'm gonna on those lists, I don't remember those shows all that much. Like Teen Wolf, I don't remember the pilot. My So-Called Life, I don't remember the pilot. Buffy, I have to watch the show again. It's one of my personal favorites. I have to watch it again. But shows like Skins, that's popular, it won't be on this list. Foster's won't be on this list. Split Star Birth won't be on this list. Make It or Break It won't be on this list. Those are very popular shows, and they would not be on this list. This list is Glee won't be on this list either. This list is strictly for shows that I have seen, two drama shows that I have seen. That's it. And this list might be very controversial, so get your pitchforks, get your knives out, get your fire things out, whatever they call them, get them out. Because this list will be the hard truth. So let's do this. I have 11 shows here that I've seen, ranked from worst to best, so let's start it. Coming at number 11 as the worst pilot that I've ever seen from teen drama. Dawson's Creek. This pilot gave me nothing about the characters, nothing about storylines that they're doing. This is honestly one of the most boring shows I have seen in my entire life. I don't know what it is about the show. I don't know if the writing is just slow or if the pacing is just slow. But like, I don't have a problem with it being slow if it's getting somewhere. And I honestly, I feel like this show goes nowhere. This show had 6 seasons. I feel bad for anyone who had to watch this show for 6 seasons. You have to endure this shit. I can never. I can never. This honestly is one of the worst drama shows I've ever seen in my life. It's boring. The characters are bland. They give you those one tweaks where, okay, I can relate to them. Not even relate to them, but like I feel bad for them. Like Pacey, the episode with his dad when he was confessing to his father when he gave up on him. That was emotional. I feel bad for Pacey. No one should have to deal with an alcoholic parent or any parent who has an addiction. Joey, her father selling drugs and promised that he'll get better, but he keeps selling drugs. That's sad. You shouldn't have to endure that. But even with those moments, I still can't get behind the characters. It's just, ugh. Anyway, we're talking about the show too much, so let's move on. This is the worst pilot I've ever seen, so any Dawson's Creek fans that watch my channel, sorry, not sorry. Coming number 10, and this one is gonna hurt people. Drum roll. Euphoria, yay! This is honestly one of the most overhyped shows I've ever seen in my life, and I'm only 19, and I've seen other shows, but this is the most overhyped, overrated, unrealistic, ridiculous show I've ever seen in my life. The pilot is literally a whole bunch of shit just crammed together. Like, if you honestly go back and watch the pilot, it's literally very inconsistent. Like, I feel like it's just way too much going on. And it's just, this show is so overrated. I honestly plan on doing a video about this because it sickens me. It sickens me to my core to how overrated this show is and how other people will compare it to other iconic shows that are 10 times better than this one, like a show like Degrassi. How they will try to compare Euphoria and Degrassi together when there is no similarities at all with these shows. None. Degrassi is a way better show, by the way. 10 times better. 100 times better than Euphoria will ever be. Ever be. I don't think Euphoria will ever make 14 seasons. This show will make it like at least, I could say probably 5, and then HBO Max will cut it because it's just stupid. This show is very unrealistic. The characters are really not all that likable. None of them are that likable. Now I think about it, none of them are likable, and I think that's really kind of the point. I don't think he's making them likable. I think that's him trying to manipulate the audience into thinking that these characters are likable, but they're really not. They're all just very they're just degrading, sick human beings. They're all not likable. They make the same stupid motherfucking mistakes. They don't learn. And these kids are supposed to be like 17 or 18. Where the hell is your adolescence, maturity, responsibility mindset? Like, ugh. Anyway, like I just said, the pilot is very inconsistent. It's crammed together with a whole bunch of shit that don't make sense. And yeah, it deserves to be in a low ranking because it's not really all that. So, I said what I said. Coming in at number 9, Riverdale. I do think now some of you might get mad, be like, "Oh my gosh, how can you say Riverdale had a better pilot than Euphoria?" It did. Oh, I could watch Riverdale pilot. I could watch seasons 1 and 2 without any problem, unlike Euphoria. I can watch seasons 1 and 2 without any problem with Riverdale. Riverdale, honestly, when I watched it, it was my shit. I love Riverdale. Drew me away during season 3 and 4, but at the beginning, it was one of my favorite shows. I love Riverdale. It's not the first show anymore, but the pilot was really good. I feel like it was very consistent. It gave you some things about the characters, some likes and dislikes, and it was just I like the atmosphere of the pilot. I like the cinematography of it. Honestly, I still don't understand why the show took place in modern time. Like it gave me such a '90s vibe. The show, I don't understand why they decided to make it take place in 2016 or 17 when the show came out. I don't know. I just feel like looking at the show, it doesn't look anything like our world. It looks like '90s. It looks like the '90s. You could have made the parents a little bit. I guess because the parents were in the '90s. Well, that wouldn't make sense either. How the hell do all the parents look like that and they were? So that would mean they were born in the '70s and they all went to school in the '90s. So what are you seriously telling me that Alice Betty's mom is in her mid 30s, mid 20s to mid 30s? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. If anything, their parents should have been born in the '70s and should be going to high school around, or so you could say '60s, and they should be going to school in the '80s. They should be going to school in the '80s. That would make more sense if you ask me. But I don't write the show. I don't write this shit. So, excuse my language, but I don't write this shit. But anyway, like I said, the atmosphere of the pilot was great. I loved Cole Sprouse narrating about what happened to Jason, and there's the whole mystery about what happened to Jason. Did he fall in the lake? Did someone kill him? Did he run away? Why was he killed? I just thought that was very interesting, and yeah, so I definitely think it deserves to be here. Coming up next. Sorry, sorry, I paused for a bit. Coming up next is The Secret Life of the American Teenager. Now, y'all know how I feel about The Secret Life of the Teenager. I love this show. I mean, honestly, I feel like this is one of the shows that get way too much hate for no reason. When there is way far more worse teen drama shows or just shows period than this. I love Secret Life of a Teenager. Yes, can the show have ridiculous things at points? Yes. Can the characters sometimes? Honestly, I feel like out of all the characters, there's only two that I really like. So I really guess the characters are not really all that likable. But there's only two that I actually really like, and that's Amy and Ricky. But honestly, the pilot really, really drew me in with her being pregnant at 15. When I watched it, I was just so intrigued on how she was gonna maintain high school and be a mom, and just being pregnant by a guy like Ricky, who's just honestly dealing with so much things with his family, being in a foster care, being with a toxic relationship with Adrian, dating Grace. Like Ricky just has so much going on. I just was just like, wow, she's pregnant by this guy. She's pregnant by this guy. And I really love that Ricky wanted to change his life around. He wanted to get a job. He wanted to cut out all that negativity from his life with Adrian. He wanted to have a relationship with Grace, but everything from his past was just stopping him from being happy because of all the trauma that he went through. So yeah, I just feel like the first season and the first episode in general was just really great to me. It was really good. It drew me in. It drew me in. That's all I have to say. Unlike all these other teen drama seasons or teen drama pilots, at least this pilot drew me in. Unlike the others. Coming up next is Degrassi: The Next Generation. This is honestly, I've done videos already about Degrassi. I love Degrassi. I just found out about the show like literally like last year, and this is honestly I could say that it has easily become one of my favorite teen drama shows. It's so good. And the first two pilot episodes, well, technically the pilot episode, but it's a part two of it. Those pilot episodes were really good. They were really scary and just, oh my god, skin crawling with Emma. Like, gosh, those are really good episodes. It really drew me in about the show, about the characters. But Degrassi didn't really find its footing yet in seasons 1 and 2. We had to wait until a little bit seasons after that for it to find its footing. But don't ever sleep on Degrassi. If you've never seen it, watch it. It's a very good show. It will draw you in. Coming up next is Pretty Little Liars. I love Pretty Little Liars. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. And the pilot episode, come on, it still holds up to this day. It's so interesting. It's has such mysterious to it. The whole idea of who the hell is is Allison behind this? The whole thing about Allison disappearing, what happened? Why did she disappear? Did she run away? Did she get killed? It's just interesting. Knowing about the four girls and how they all split up, knowing about them individually, Arya dealing with her parents, dealing with Ezra, Emily trying to figure out her sexuality, Hannah dealing with her insecurities of being a plus size girl, Spencer having to be perfect and measuring and being in competition with her sister. Like, it's just such interesting. Like, things like that can make you really like the characters. And I definitely feel like season one was really, really good. Season one was really good. Like, really, really, really good. I loved every bit of season one. And the pilot is what drew me in. So the pilot was great. It's an A plus for me. Coming up next is the Vampire Diaries. I love the Vampire Diaries. Recently, I just started talking about the show more. Sorry. Because I never really made videos about the show before, but honestly, I'm always having like unpopular opinions about the show and just my conspiracies about the love triangle and Lena and Damon and Stefan and all relationships. I definitely feel like the pilot was really good. It definitely holds up. It was intriguing. It was very mysterious. It had atmosphere. Just learning more about the supernatural element was interesting. I feel like they did it right compared to these other shows that do it now. I feel like the Vampire Diaries did it the best. Maybe I might be overstepping that because I never seen True Blood, even though I've heard that show is really good. My friend Jelani said it's really good, but I've never seen it. I have to watch it. So right now I'm going to stick with my opinion that Vampire Diaries did it the best. So Vampire Diaries did it the best. I honestly loved every bit of the pilot, every bit of season one. So yeah. Coming in next is Gossip Girl. I love Gossip Girl. XOXO. This is one of my favorite shows of all time. The pilot was without a doubt one of the best pilots to air on TV of all time. And it was just really good. The secrets, oh my god, the characters, the messiness, the juiciness. Oh my god. See, the pilot was so good. Everything. I love how the New York looks. I love the idea of focusing on rich, spoiled kids who don't have to endure any punishment. It's just so interesting. And I also love the fact that Dan is an outsider, kind of looking into this world that he never really knew about with the rich. And Jenny too. I love the idea that they're both kind of getting into that. This show is just so good to me, especially for the first half of the earlier seasons before it went downhill. But this has always been one of the best shows to ever air on television, and the pilot was easily was one of the best things to ever air on TV. Coming up next is the OC. We're at my final two here. So number one, get ready. But the first one is the OC. The OC is honestly one of the shows I just got into not too long ago, like over quarantine, and I've been watching it ever since. It's such a good show. Now, this is one of the shows where it kind of went down earlier than it should have, but I digress. The show is still pretty good. The pilot was really good. Season 1 was really, really good to me. Seasons 1 and 2 were top-notch seasons, even though there were some things I would have had taken out of season 2, but still a top-notch season. But season 1 was just very, very good. The pilot was very good. What I love about the pilot is that it was long, but it got to the point. It was consistent and wasn't a whole bunch of mush things up together. You actually got to know the characters, the storylines that we're going to see heading into the season, and what we want and what we're getting into. Unlike these other shows, you don't even know what you're getting into once you watch the pilot. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit. Unlike the OC, it wasn't that at all. right. Coming in at number one, y'all should know. Talk about the show all the time. The best TV show pilot for teen drama, One Tree Hill. One Tree motherfucking Hill. One Tree Hill is the best teen drama show to ever be created. Period. No one's going to change my mind. No one's going to change my opinion. No one is going to do anything to force themselves to tell me that any show is better than this. No show. No other drama show can hold a motherfucking candle torch to One Tree Hill. The pilot was absolutely one of the best pilots to ever air. It didn't need all that extra shit that other teen drama shows have now. It was just simple, straight to the point. You get to know the characters. You get to know the storylines that's going to be happening. It was easily one of the best pilots. It actually had some educational things in the pilot. It was just interesting. It's easily one of the best pilots to ever air. Actually, the best pilot to ever air on TV. And this show is just awesome. This show is one of the best storytelling, written, character-driven shows to ever happen on TV. And I dare anyone to change my opinion about it. One Tree Hill is that show. So those are my rankings for pilots. Please tell me yours in the comments below, and thanks for watching my channel.